Hey Swifties, it's Ellen here, and I know today's video is a little bit different than things that I normally do on my channel, which is guitar tutorials, but I feel like it's tangentially related because I did finally buy my very first Taylor Swift merch guitar. I've always wanted one of her merch guitars ever since they came out a couple years ago, and this year I was able to snag the Eras Tour guitar, so I wanted to unbox that on camera with you guys and just kind of share in the joy in being able to finally own a Taylor Swift guitar. So let's go ahead and unbox. Now just a little bit about this as I unbox this guitar is this wasn't my first choice. So the day that these guitars launched on the holiday launch this year, I've actually always had my eye on the Evermore guitar just because I feel like it's the most beautiful one, and the way that it like lays when someone would be playing it would be absolutely perfect. So I've always wanted it, especially since I have a guitar channel. I just think it would look so pretty on camera too. But for some reason, whenever I was checking out, so I was like one of the first people in line that first holiday drop day. I had all the ornaments that I wanted except for my showgirl ornament in my cart and everything, and the only guitars available at that time were the Life of a Showgirl guitar and the Eras Tour guitar. So here's the box. As you saw, it was actually shipped in another box, and then this is the actual box with the guitar in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this now. So anyway, that day I was doing my holiday shopping, got all the ornaments, and then because I saw the two guitars, I figured they would both sell out like super quickly, so I chose the Eras Tour guitar just because for my channel it kind of makes sense because I teach all the different Eras on the channel and how to play her songs on the guitar. So I thought it would be really fitting, and I thought it would look really pretty on camera because it's so colorful. But anyway, later that day I went back to the website and all of a sudden I saw all the other guitars were released but sold out already. So I don't know when they actually released all the other eras of guitars because I really wanted that Evermore one, but by the time I saw it after the initial drop, it was just absolutely gone already, and the Eras Tour guitar was still available. I actually think it is still available right now too, so if you like what you see in this video, maybe consider it. But here is the guitar. Shipped pretty typically, a box within a box. It has some cute stickers for Epiphone and things like that. Alright guys, so here is the guitar fresh out of the box. I think it's so pretty. I feel like the design, some people love it, some people hate it, but I personally love this design. I actually do have the Eras Tour poster hanging in my office, so it kind of matches, which is really fun. Upon first inspection, I'm actually really impressed with the way that they did the sticker on top, like the sticker overlay. I thought maybe it might be one of those ones that would like easily peel off over time, but it really does look like it's, you know, pretty sturdy, which is great. So really quick, I wanted to talk a little bit about the guitar itself. So the actual guitar model is an Epiphone DR100, which is a regular like model that you could actually get on like, I'm sure like Amazon or Guitar Center, things like that, but it is Taylor branded because it has the beautiful Eras Tour sticker on it. The website says it's made out of mahogany and spruce, which is a totally typical wood that you would see most guitars made out of. It is a full-size guitar, so it is a little bit bigger than some of the other guitars that I'm used to playing on this channel, but I wanted to go ahead and tune it up and just show you guys how it sounds. Also, if you are more of a gearhead and you're interested in more specs about this guitar, I will put some here on screen, but in case you're more like me and are just here for the aesthetics and the vibes and the sound, let's go ahead and tune this up so we can see how it sounds. So I've been tuning this guitar for a couple minutes now. If you've never gotten a guitar shipped to you before, the strings always come really super loose. It's the safest way to have that travel so that they don't break while they're in transit. So these were super duper loose. I had to twist them quite a few times to get them even in the ballpark of where a tuner would be able to pick up the string. So just keep that in mind with any guitar you get shipped, but this one specifically as well. The strings feel fairly normal quality. I'm actually really surprised. A lot of times when I've gotten guitars that, you know, were shipped online and stuff, the strings are actually usually kind of high, so the action is like high, which makes them kind of hard to play because you have to press down on them really hard. I'm actually finding the opposite experience on this guitar. The action seems really low. It's super duper easy to press down on these strings without hurting your fingers too much, but because of that, I am hearing a little bit of buzzing. Like rattling, not so much right now, but when I was tuning I did hear a little bit, so we'll see if that continues. So for the tuning process, just remember, tuning new strings, they tend to stretch out. So as I was tuning all strings one by one, by the time I was finished with the last one, the first one was out of tune again. So just keep that in mind. You will have to retune your guitar several times when you get it fresh out of the box until it kind of finally settles. So if you're somebody who tunes it once and tries to play a song and it doesn't sound great, chances are it's out of tune again, so just check that really quick. But yeah, so that was the tuning process. Let's go ahead and play a few things on here, and then we can go into some final thoughts. Yeah, there's surprisingly a lot of sustain on this guitar. That's one of my favorite things when I play a guitar, is how much it like rings out and continues ringing. I think that's one of the things that makes guitar such a pretty instrument, so I love that it has such a beautiful sustain. The strings that it comes with do sound maybe a little bit tinny, like a little hollow, if that makes any sense. So definitely strings are something that are relatively inexpensive that you could totally change out by yourself at home. I actually have a video on that on my Forever Faithful channel, so I'll link that in the corner if you need it. But if you change out the strings, that could definitely improve the quality, the sound quality of this guitar like immediately. The other thing to mention too is these strings do feel fairly typical in the gauge or like how thick they are. So like normally acoustic guitars that come shipped and stuff, I think they usually come like the 1352 range, and that's what most of my guitars are. Some of them I have gotten down to 12s to make them just a little bit easier to play. If you're somebody who doesn't like how thick these strings are, maybe you're used to electric, or maybe you're used to just like a smaller guitar, I don't know. If you want to change the gauge of this string to something thinner, just remember that can throw some of this stuff out of whack. It can change the intonation and things like that, so you might want to be careful. Speaking of which, let's just check the intonation real quick. I don't know, sounds pretty good to me. I'm kind of a newbie at some of this more like technical stuff, but it sounds like it's pretty good. And just let me explain that really quick as well. If you don't know what intonation is, it is different than tuning. I have a whole video about explaining the difference there. But basically sometimes if you play like a chord or something down here, if the intonation of your guitar is off when you play it higher, like let's say you're using a capo or something like that, it can actually sound a little bit out of tune because it's not like properly the same note. So basically if you want to test this on your guitar, you can play an open string and then have your finger here on the 12th fret. Usually it's the one with the 2 dots here. It should be the same note. Now I'm doing it by ear, but you can also have a tuner just to double check. It should be the same note all the way down. All the way down and up your guitar, so that's intonation. So yeah, the intonation on this sounds great. I'm really excited about how good quality is. I was a little bit nervous just because we have a little bit of a reputation for Taylor merch to sometimes not be the greatest quality, so this guitar was a little bit of a gamble on my end, but I am really satisfied with it so far. It's so beautiful. I love how it pops on camera, especially against my blue background. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a little bit of finger picking now. So finger picking, it feels like normal. Let's go ahead and try something with the capo. I mean, it sounds great with a capo as well, so I'm extra excited about this guitar because one of the purposes of me wanting to get this was specifically because I do have and run this Taylor Swift guitar tutorial channel, so I thought, hey, this would be perfect for that, so make sure to look out for this. I will be using this in future tutorials, so if you like it, then that's exciting. So yeah, let me just go ahead and jump into some final thoughts about this guitar. Okay, so final thoughts on this guitar. Obviously, aesthetically, I love it. I mean, Eras Tour was so iconic and I'm so glad that I got to be a part of that. So it's one of those like milestone things in my life that I would like to remember. So I'm glad that I have a guitar that can commemorate that. Had I been able to get the Evermore guitar, I probably would have tried to get that one as well. So aesthetically, I love the way it looks. If you are somebody who is a Swiftie who is thinking about starting to play the guitar, one of the things I can absolutely tell you is if your guitar looks pretty, or if you're like me at least, if your guitar looks pretty, you're gonna wanna pick it up, you're gonna wanna interact with it, you're gonna wanna like learn it and practice it more. One of the first guitars I ever owned, actually it was my first guitar that was my own and not my brother's, was my Taylor Swift Baby Taylor guitar. It's one that you've probably seen on this channel a million times. I've actually had it for over 15 years now and it still plays beautifully, I still love it. So just, I'm giving you this story because if this is gonna be a guitar that you are gifting to somebody or you're buying one for yourself and it's your very first one, I think spending the extra money to get the Taylor branded one, kind of worth it in my opinion, because if it gets you to play it more, then it's totally worth it. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this. The DR100 model is an Epiphone guitar that you can buy other places. It usually runs about $160. I did buy this on Taylor's website for $399. So there is quite a little bit of a markup. Obviously, because it's Taylor, she can mark up anything and we'll probably buy it. But I think the guitar, it's worth the markup because if it is aesthetically pleasing, if you're just buying it to like hang on your wall, I think that looks great too. But if you're someone who actually wants to learn how to play it, my channel exists. Just want to put that plug in there. But also, I think if it's something that you want to, like your eyes naturally drawn to, you're obviously going to want to play it more. So I think that's the #1 pro. So who is this guitar for? Obviously any Swiftie in your life. If you are thinking about purchasing this for someone who is more on the smaller side, like smaller stature, or just, you know, a kid or something like that, you might want to consider maybe a different sized guitar, only because this is a full size guitar. So the body of it does, you know, feel quite big. It's a little bit harder to wrap your arm around to play. The neck size is fairly normal, so I don't think that's as big of a deal, but it's more just like the strumming hand. If you're buying this for a really young Swiftie in your life, just, you know, keep in mind that it might be a little harder for them to play, but it is something they could totally grow into. The baby Taylor that I was talking about earlier is actually a 3/4 size guitar, so I'll make sure to insert a clip of them side by side so you can see the size difference here. Quality wise, I think the guitar is a fair quality for the price. Obviously you could probably get slightly better guitars for the $400 price point elsewhere, but of course they won't have that Taylor branding on it, so, you know. And some of the things I was really surprised by was when I unboxed it, like I said, the aesthetic, the sticker part looks pretty well done. I was really surprised at how shiny it is and how it doesn't look like it's something you could just peel off really easily, so I'm already impressed with that. And then after it was tuned up and I played a little bit on it, I think if I switch out those guitar strings for a fresh set, it'll really just make this guitar really shine. Basically, I guess I'm all over the place a little bit, but final thoughts is if you want a good quality guitar, there are other ones, other brands that you could get for this price point. But again, that Taylor branding is so special and really eye-catching for any Swiftie in your life. So that alone I think is worth the markup, and the guitar itself is totally playable. So if you're wanting someone to actually learn the guitar, this can totally be a starter guitar for anyone who's never played guitar before. So anyway, that wraps up this unboxing. I know that this was a super random video for this channel, but I kind of don't have a place where I can like share in this joy other than on this channel, because you guys as Swifties and guitar players know how exciting it must be to have a brand new guitar, especially one that's Taylor Swift branded. So I kind of wanted to share with you the joy of opening this guitar. Like I said, I'm gonna fix it up just a little bit with some new strings, maybe, you know, adjust the action a little bit, and then I will be playing it in some new tutorials coming your way soon. So I hope you'll stay tuned, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.